What's happening with journalism and the transition? And I heard you discuss the transition with Huffington Post and other media. Tell us how the ecosystem is changing.
Well, the great thing about it is that it's changing all of the time, and so there's not a lot of answers yet. There's just a lot of questions. But a lot of new media is trying to fill the void where traditional media is falling short. And that's a good thing. Look, people are getting their information from all sorts of different ways now. One thing that I'm concerned about, though, is that if you have a particular interest in one area, or you have a leaning one side or the other politically, you might just be reading your side. And it's important that people be able to broaden out, read a lot of different things. I check a lot of different blogs during the day, as well as looking at the more traditional news media sites. I still am quite fond of the networks and the big national papers, and local papers continue to do very well. So people are getting their information in a lot of different ways, and the great thing is for communicators like us at Burson is that we can use that to then blanket coverage all over the place. It just means you have to work a lot harder.
And how do you see the evolution of the Huffington Post?
Well, I've noticed that they've just tried to go from more of something I think that was first of all considered maybe more of a gossip-oriented blog or a sort of a news with edge to more of a mainstream news site, and they're getting a lot of credit. They're rebuilding their reputation, and I think they're doing a pretty good job.
So let's talk about crises and new media and the decentralized media. Coming out of your experience in the White House, what are your thoughts and advice in that area?
Well, things have started to move just so quickly. A crisis that you might have dealt with over a couple of weeks now happens within a couple of hours. And so you have to have a team in place to be able to help you immediately scale up, stamp out a rumor, or deal with something, especially if it has to do with public health, to quickly be able to get information out, which is also a good thing. So if there's a food scare, you are able to let people know quickly, make sure you don't eat this or that you might have in your cupboards, and that way you can get information out more quickly to people and hopefully save lives.
Tell us about this whole, you must have a lot of thoughts about the Supreme Court battle and how it's battled out in the press. Give us some of your thoughts of what's going on now.
What's really interesting to me on the Supreme Court nomination is to watch the blogs. They have journalists that are going through, looking at all the different opinions that she rendered as a judge over her career, and it's very interesting. And sometimes the traditional media just doesn't have enough time to do it. They are trying to do more with less, and so they're looking at the blogs as well. So it almost becomes a symbiotic relationship. The one thing that has to happen, though, when you are looking at this information is you want to make sure that it's solid. So in traditional journalism, with the ethics that are involved in finding two sources and making sure that they understand the rules of on background, off the record, that's all still very important. But the blogs are playing a very important role in this new development.
Let's talk about YouTube for a minute, and online video and viral video. That's a new phenomenon, really has come to fore during your watch, I would say, or during the time that you were in the White House, for good and bad. Tell us sort of the impact of YouTube or viral video and how communicators can manage that if they can.
Mm-hmm. Well, a couple of things. One, it can be very good. I noticed that President Obama decided to take the radio address and turn it more into a video address that he does weekly, and that's great. People love to watch video online, and with more people having computers in their home and able to actually access the internet through faster speeds, then you're able to actually watch videos. So that has been a really good thing. On the downside, I knew of a company who dealt with something where they had an employee that did something inappropriate. They put it on video, they put it on YouTube, and within 24 hours, 800,000 people had watched that video. And that can destroy a brand very quickly. So that's what we're trying to do at Burson Marsteller, is help companies try to figure out how to navigate that, how to be prepared for it, and how to deal with it immediately when it happens.
Yeah, because it's almost the react through video. How can companies be prepared to react through video?
Well, they need to have some sort of freelancers on on the speed dial if they need to. And I think CEOs and other people within companies should be doing more video to employees as well as to their customers and their constituents.